Hello, my friends. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for selecting my video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It helps out. Or if you want to donate, go to ozarkhunger@gmail.com or check the description. There's other links. Today is episode 23, Genesis 13. I'll get right to it. Excuse me. Abraham inherits Canaan. Genesis 13. Then Abraham went up from Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him, to the south. Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journey from the south as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning. Between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there at first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. Lot also, who went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. Now the land was not able to support them, that they might dwell together, for their possessions were so great that they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. The Canaanites and the Perizzites then dwelt in the land. So Abram said to Lot, "Please let there be no strife between you and me, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is it not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right. Or if you go to the right, then I will go to the left." And Lot lifted his eyes and saw all of the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere. And Lot lifted his eyes and saw the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as you go toward Zoar. Then Lot chose for himself all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated from each other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan. Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent even as far as Sodom. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, "Lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which you see I give to you and your descendants forever. And I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants also could be numbered. Arise, walk in the land through its length and its width, for I give it to you." Then Abram moved his tent and went and dwelt by the terebinth trees of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built an altar there to the Lord. Wow! Abram has just been exceedingly blessed, and he's been promised that his progeny will be blessed also. All of his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, etc. That's all I can hope for. that my children will have a good life, and my grandchildren. Let's see. Abram's journey to Egypt was prompted by a famine in the land. In this journey, we have something that foreshadows the coming of Israel to Egypt, the eventual deliverance of the people, and the journey and return of Jesus and his family to Egypt. In all three cases, danger brought them to Egypt, and God brought them back. After Abram's misadventures in Egypt, he returned to Bethel. Beth, Hebrew for house, and El, Hebrew for God, combine to form Bethel, house of God. Wow. I think I heard that before, but I forgot it till this moment. Very, very good. Bethel means house of God in Greek, Hebrew. Abram built an altar there before he went to Egypt. When he returned, it was to the sacred place outside the ancient city, the location of the altar where he had met God. When we find ourselves in difficulty, seeming to be adrift in our lives, we need to do what Abram did. Return to the house of God and call on the name of the Lord. In Genesis 13, the Bible indicates that being wealthy is not a sin. But wealth seriously increases a believer's responsibility. God's people should view wealth with a sense of stewardship rather than ownership. So you tell God, you have blessed me with this income, this 401k, this house, this land, this business, whatever. And your responsibility is to be a good steward. So try not to waste it, like gambling or anything frivolous like that. Use it to help other people. Start with your family, of course. And if you have a business, anybody that works for you. Good stewardship, I think, is rewarded. So that's something to think about. God's people should view wealth as with a sense of stewardship rather than ownership. In Abram's case, the riches were livestock, silver, and gold. Wow, that is a lot. You can do anything with livestock, silver, or gold. There was no currency, coinage. Coinage was not devised until the Persian period. Abram and Lot had so much livestock that their herdsmen were at odds. The Canaanites and the Perizzites also used the grazing lands. Christians are supposed to live in such a way that unbelievers see them showing love to one another. Christian unity is their witness to a watching world. So if you say you're a Christian and you're fighting with other Christians and then unbelievers see you, they're going to be very unimpressed with Christianity. So if you know the other person, especially family, you make allowances and help them. Don't argue with them, and don't let your employees argue with them. Abram had the rights in this matter, But he gave Lot first choice because they were brothers. Poor family. Abram was not greedy and did not grasp for the best. He could allow Lot to choose first because he entrusted his future to God, not to Abram. He was trusting in God. The definition of walking by faith. In Hebrew, lift your eyes means seek out, look with care. Lot chose for himself what he believed to be the best land. Yet this was a territory of Sodom and Gomorrah, two of the most perverse and exceedingly wicked cities at the time. Lot's selfish choice would prove disastrous, because over time it would draw him into Sodom's ways. All decisions have been implications beyond the moment. I know a girl who was a sweet little innocent girl. She was going to move to New York. And I talked her out of it. Not intentionally. I just said, New York is a very high... She was a sweet southern girl from Dallas, Texas. And she, all her life she wanted to go to New York. My daughter feels the same way. She thinks it's because people make so much money there. And they think it's kind of like the best place to be because you'll make the most money. Which sounds logical. But I warned this young lady. I said, I know a girl who went to a big city like that. And she was sweet and nice to talk to and friendly. She goes there. In order to survive, she had to blend in with the indigenous people. In order to be liked, you adopt their values and their morals, and try to blend in so that they will be nice to you. Well, they were a lot meaner and wicked and evil, I'd say, kind of like nice to your face, but stab you in the back if they can make 5 cents. I told her, if you go to New York, number one, you're going to be away from your family. Which I moved away from my family because I had to for my children. But to be away from your family is very bad. You need to be there to... All you have is each other, to support each other. But number two, New York is very different from Dallas, where everybody was nice to her, smiled at her, waved at her. In New York, it's dog eat dog. They are clawing their way to the top. Strangers will flip you off for no reason. They'll cuss at you. New York, I think, has a very high murder rate, a very high crime rate. And I heard the criminals are not even put in jail unless they catch them cold-handed shooting somebody. But they can rob person after person after person, go to jail, and get out the next day. So they do not have incentive to be nice. I told her, if you go to New York and you survive, you will be changed forever. I met a girl like this. She was sweet. And she went somewhere mean. And when she came back, she had to toughen up so much to survive that she was no longer the same person. So, Lot, by choosing to stay in Sodom and Gomorrah, even just on the outskirts, not the city, but in the county, he had to go in there periodically for supplies and stuff, and he was adversely influenced by the evil ways of the city. Abram waited until God spoke. And then he looked at the land before him. Despite Lot's choice, Yahweh, God, the principal person, name of God in the Old Testament, Exodus 3:14 and 15, Yahweh blessed Abram with far more lands, the whole of Canaan, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. And then vowed to give the land to Abram's seed forever, a heightening of the promise in Genesis 12, verse 7. You can't turn that down. I would never turn down any request of God if God will ever talk to me. But he did it with the ultimate fulfilling feeling that he was helping his whole family and progeny into the future.
Did you get an email today?
Okay, sorry for the interruption. Abram waited until God spoke, and then he looked at the land before him. Despite Lot's choice, Yahweh God blessed Abram for far more land than Canaan, north, south, east, and west. So he was blessed, and all of his progeny are blessed. That's very good. And thank you very much for listening today. I really appreciate it. Have a great week. God bless you. Remember, think positive. Like it says in Philippians 4:8, finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely or admirable, if anything is excellent or positively, think about these things, period. That's from Peter, Philippians 4:8. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.